Hello and welcome. You're watching the Weekend Debate with me, Shawan Sen. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very special interview lined up for you as the SIT in Mumbai in the Disha Salian case has gathered some momentum. In fact, remember 3.5 years ago when this case came up, there was a lot that was spoken about. In fact, there were few who wanted to bury this under the carpet. They went on saying that there is nothing in this particular case. So much so that then Mumbai Police Commissioner had also, his police at that point in time, had filed a closure report in this case, saying that there is nothing in this entire matter. Years later, the Eknath Shinde government has now come out in the open and they say that an SIT will be looking into this matter. On the forefront of it is senior BJP legislator Nitesh Rane. He's made some explosive claims. He'll be joining us in a short while from now. That's the big debate also. But before that, let's take a look at the headlines. It's the big SIT probe that has now begun in Mumbai in the Disha Salian case. But before that, take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. The explosive parliament attack plot that has now been unraveled. There's a face-off over the parliament attack. Is it not time to rise over the politics stand? The political blame game continues to rage on. Congress questions centre. BJP claims TMC link. Lok Sabha Speaker appeals to MPs over the parliament attack. Once again, decries politicization. As anger mounts over the Belgavi horror, Siddaramaiah government suspends officer, hands over the compensation. But is it action enough? SIT tightens news in the Disha Salian case. There is no stopping the truth anymore. BJP claims larger plot in Disha Salian case, demands thorough investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, 3.5 years. The SIT has now begun the investigation in the Disha Salian case. Evidence is being examined once again. Statements of those associated with the case are set to be recorded soon. The SIT investigation, in fact, is gathering pace with every passing day in the midst of a political storm that is brewing now. BJP has made some explosive allegations. BJP claims that there is a larger plot at play and has therefore demanded a thorough probe. In fact, BJP legislator Nitesh Rane is joining us on the weekend debate tonight. Mr. Rane, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. This perhaps is your first interview after that big explosive claim that has been made. So thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. 3.5 years ago, when I first met you in Mumbai and when we spoke about this entire matter, at that point in time, you essentially indicated, Mr. Rane, that you have evidence with you. You at that point in time also made a stunning revelation saying that this is an evidence which perhaps is going to make everyone nervous. Mr. Rane, 3.5 years later, your government has now begun the investigation. First, put this into perspective for our viewers and several people who've been wanting to know the truth. Why exactly has it been buried under the carpet?
Shawan, from day one, I'm sure, I've seen you and me, we've been touching about this entire case. I know how much you worked, people like you and your channel has worked hard to ensure that the truth comes out. Now, finally, you must be hearing that the investigation is on the right track. They investigated and took recorded statements of Disha Salian's parents yesterday. That's what I'm hearing. And now finally we will get to know what the truth is. Rather, we know what the truth is, but the real culprits will be punished. The way they have been hiding away, the way they have been, pressurizing all the witnesses, way they have been getting rid of all the proofs that, point at a particular direction, which shows very, very clearly that Disha Salian and Sushant Singh Rajput, following the Disha Salian's death, was murdered. And there were people who were present at that eighth night party, some powerful people who ensured that the truth never comes out. But better late than never. Now that the Mahavikas Aghadi government is gone, now that Uddhav Thackeray is not the chief minister, so now there is no hiding for people like Aditya Thackeray, who have been running away and shying away from facing the truth. As you know, the actions speak louder than words, and the way he has been hiding away and not coming it out in open and openly saying कि if they want to investigate me, if they want to know the truth, I'm ready to face any probe. So that's the confidence that was expected out of him. But obviously, because he knows there are a lot of skeletons in the closet, and now the truth is finally going to come out.
Okay. Mr. Rane, as far as a few politicians are concerned, and whom you've been naming, now it's for the police to really find out the culprit. What I want to understand from you, 3.5 years later, your government says that it is important that an SIT should be looking into it. Almost a year ago, Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Mr. Devendra Fadnavis did make that big announcement saying that yes, he's come across many people coming and saying to him that there is evidence and this requires a fair investigation. I want to understand first from you, Mr. Rane, the thought behind this decision. Why exactly did your government take this decision? What went into it? First, let us understand the reasoning, the rationale behind this entire decision of an SIT to be formed.
See, as you very well know, that the CBI was investigating the Sushant Singh Rajput case and not the Disha Salian case. And we all knew is because the 8th of June happened, and that is why the 13th of June happened. If you want to know, very well know what happened on the 13th of June, you need to know what happened on the 8th of June, because both these dates are very well interconnected. So obviously the probe or the investigation is still going on about the Sushant Singh Rajput case, and the CBI is still investigating. But the real truth lies on the 8th of June night 2020, where what happened to Disha Salian and what happened in with her, because of which that was what happened on the 13th of June. So until and unless we do not understand and probe and investigate and find out how everything that happened on the 8th of June, it's no use just keeping just sitting and investigating the 13th of June. Now I think finally, people like us have been following up. We have been talking on different forums. Now the government has changed. So then, obviously it's the right time, because the right people are governing us. People like Devendra Fadnavis ji and Eknath Shinde ji are leading the government. And that is why we all MLAs, me and MLAs like Amit Satam ji and other people together, we asked this government to, probe the matter, because as you would remember, is in the last MBA government, the IO, the investigation officer of the Disha Salian case, was changed twice. Also, the right people were not even investigated, basically. And there were not right, there were not people trying to find out why the CCTV cameras were deleted. Rohan Rai was not interrogated for the longest of time. Then the mobile tower locations were not checked. We were trying to, they were not coming out open with what happened with the final postmortem report of Disha, and all these other unanswered questions were still there. So I think now that the government is there, where the center, we have an NDA government, and the state we have, because you very well know what the MBA government was, even your channel and people like all of us, they were behind us just because we were raising very important issues. And now, because the right government is there in the state, we all have come together, and now finally we all are satisfied. Okay, the probe has started. Better late than never. It took 1 year for us to begin the probe, but now at least we are not looking back.
Mr. Rane, for many who've been following this case very closely, and especially fans of Sushant Singh Rajput, and also those who have been praying for the well-being of Disha Salian's family members, they all are frustrated with the kind of delay that has been seen on the part of the Central Bureau of Investigation. Whether at all there is going to be a charge sheet that is going to be filed, when will it be filed? Those are questions that are lingering and almost on a daily basis on behalf of several people who have been praying day and night that at least the truth should come out. What is it that you would like to tell them? Because is there going to be a timeline that you're going to set for the SIT, that within which period they're going to finish their investigation? Is it going to be a time-bound investigation, or else would it be similar to what we have seen in the case of Central Bureau of Investigation, which is only stretching like a rubber band?
One thing you need to remember, Shawan, is CBI only entered the investigation scene after 72 days after the 13th of June. They were not given access by the Mahavikas Aghadi government. You must have remembered what did they do with the Bihar officers who were trying to enter Mumbai to investigate the case. You must have remembered what they did to one of your reporters who were trying to enter the Karjat farmhouse of the Thakres. So, because there was 72 days where Uddhav Thackeray himself was the chief minister. His son was one of the accused in the Disha Salian and the Sushant Singh Rajput case. And they used the entire state machinery in order to ensure that there is no proof left. The witnesses were, they were threatened. There were a lot of people who were bribed. If you remember what Mr. Roop Kumar Shah, the guy who did the postmortem of Sushant Singh, what he told us last year, there was a lot of doctors, who were pressurized, and a lot of other things were happening in order to ensure people don't talk. So all the fans and all the people who have been following up the Sushant Singh Rajput case, I would tell them you have to understand it's a very high profile case. It is not a clear cut case where the CBI was allowed to do everything. The CBI came into the crime scene the very next day. They were only allowed to come after 72 days. And once they came after 72 days, they were trying to do best what they can. But now with the SIT, you must have seen the SIT was formed like a week back during the Nagpur Adhivation, which is going on right now. And they have already started the investigation. So I'm very confident that, things will run really fast. People will be sent summoned, people will be investigated. And I think it's time the truth comes out now.
Mr. Rane, now I want to get into some specifics of it, because not often do we really get an opportunity to speak to you. So I'm hoping, because tonight a lot of people are going to watch you. There are several fans who've been constantly asking this question to us as to why aren't we really raising this question. And as our editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami, has also been pointing out that truth has a way of coming out. So tonight, Mr. Rane, I'm hoping you'll bear with us and going to connect with a lot of people. I want to start with what the Mumbai police had to say on this entire matter. In fact, one of the investigating officers who've been quoted by a newspaper says that there is a closure report that has been filed. And I'm quoting this. They say that the investigating officer of the case, after investigating the matter for several months, sent a report to the Assistant Commissioner of Police for final summary, as he was convinced that there was no foul play in her death. Now, Mumbai police has already shut the case. We spoke to Disha Salian's father just about a few days ago. My colleague Sandeep did actually speak to his father. Father is also now saying that, I was initially told that this was death by suicide. Later on, it turns out that there is something really fishy. Even this is what the father had to say. What will you say? Was there an attempt to bury this under the carpet? Is there something that the people of this country do not know about the investigation that was carried out by then Police Commissioner Parambir Singh and his team?
See, you have to understand very clearly. I mentioned it before. I'm again repeating it. It's a very high profile case. It involves the then chief minister's son, who was also a cabinet minister in his cabinet. So obviously there was tremendous pressure on the Mumbai police. If you must have remembered, Shawan, me and my father were called for investigation about the Disha Salian case at the Malwani police station. We were interrogated for good 10 to 11 hours in that entire day, and you will be surprised the Mumbai police didn't want to investigate the case. All they wanted to know is what kind of proofs do we have, what kind of photographs did we have. Now, why are we trying to, contact certain people who they didn't want us to contact, especially me? And then, and all through the process while they were interrogating me, they were getting calls from, certain people who were connected to Uddhav Thackeray. So it was you can understand the kind of pressure the Mumbai police were. Obviously, it was headed by Uddhav Thackeray. So they had the pressure where they had to shut the case. They had to do a closure report and whatever they wanted to do. But unfortunately, now the government has changed. The Mumbai
But
police themselves have it's time that the Mumbai police themselves will correct all the mistakes that they did. They very well know because I'm in touch with certain police officers who I don't want to name in public, but they know what they need to do now that the case has reopened, because now there is no fear. Now all they need to talk is the truth. All they need to give proofs is the truth, and there are certain officers who I am going to name in my interrogation, who have helped to threaten certain witnesses, who have helped in order to, for example, deleting
so,
certain CCTVs and all
Mr. Rane,
that.
as
I
I
have all
understand,
those names. A lot of other people also are ready to name them. So once we are called or during the course of this entire investigation, I'm going to forward all the information. So people just need to know that there was a lot of pressure. And now there is no pressure at all. And
Mr.
now the
Rane,
investigation will go on in full swing.
you are insinuating against. No, but they say that these are false allegations, because if you really have the evidence, why is it that you did not give it to the Central Bureau of Investigation? Why would you actually wait till about having your own government in power? Would you then not say that this appears to be some sort of a political slugfest? Are you convinced that you have enough evidence, and are you willing to submit it before the Mumbai police? Why is it that you did not do it before the Central Bureau of Investigation?
You have to understand there is a difference here. The CBI never ever investigated the Disha Salian case. They were only investigating the Sushant Singh Rajput case. The Mumbai police were the only people who were investigating the Disha Salian case. See, their people are getting confused. They are thinking right now that the CBI was investigating both the cases together, but it was not that situation. And one more thing is the then Mumbai police, who was under Uddhav Thackeray and under the MBA government. Obviously, if the kind of interrogation that they were doing with me and my father, I could understand the fact that they wanted to know what kind of proofs do I have, and if I would have given them names, if I would have given them certain hints and certain leads, I'm sure they would have pressurized them too. There are a lot of people who have been pressurized during the entire course of time for asking them not to speak. There were a lot of information that was trying to be deleted and everything. So I think now obviously I didn't want because CBI was never investigating the Disha Salian case. It was the Mumbai police, and now that the Mumbai police is there and investigating through the SIT, I'm more comfortable in giving to this government rather than giving to the Uddhav Thackeray government, who was hell bent in saving his own son.
Mr. Rane, I want to get into also specifics of the evidence, because you say that there is a clear destruction of evidence. Could you help our viewers understand, when you say destruction of evidence, what do you exactly mean? Because even on the fact that Disha Salian, whether she had attended another party or not. When the police investigated, they say that she was present at her residence. In fact, the only time, as per the CCTV footage, the only time that she stepped out of her residence was only to take food delivery. So what kind of destruction of evidence are you really talking about?
What about the mobile tower locations? A. Second is the CCTV footage of whatever happened around that night. Third is the visitors book, the two pages that were torn out. I think one of your reporters had also visited that area where the visitors pages of eighth and ninth night were torn, and the concerned watchmen who were there on duty that night, he was sent to his villages, and I don't think he's in even touch with anyone right now. So there are a lot of these, gaps that were kept, when the Mumbai police were investigating. If she died on the 8th of night, 8th June night, but her postmortem was done on the 11th of June. So why did they wait for 2-3 days? All these questions need to be answered. Ideally, if the Mumbai police were investigating the entire case, they should have found out all these things. But all they were concerned about closing the case ASAP, trying to give a clean sheet to someone who was the minister in the government, and that is why the truth never came out.
Mr. Rane, 3.5 years ago, when I asked you this question, that are you going to part ways with the evidence that you have in your possession? Your father too has made this claim on a social media platform that both the deaths are linked. Both of you have been saying that there is enough evidence and you're willing to give it. Is it time now that you are going to finally part ways with the evidence that you say that you've been having it? Because your political opponents say that this is all bum-cum, that there is no evidence that you have, and if you've had, then why did you not share it in the past? So tonight, are you going to say that you are ready to give that evidence to the police? Let there be a fair investigation?
Obviously, I am waiting to share that evidences, also waiting to give them certain leads, give them certain names of what happened, who was present there, who should be interrogated, and what kind of evidences do I have. Why would I even think of giving any evidences to the Mumbai police who were under the Mahavikas Aghadi government? I would have never thought of doing that, and I would have never do that. There was a pen drive that I showed in the Vidhan Sabha myself. There were evidences in it. Now I am more than happy, more than confident to go and give the evidences to the SIT, the people who are investigating the entire matter, and soon I will be handing it over to them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rane, for joining us on this special broadcast, and the assurances that you have made tonight. Perhaps that is going to give some answer to those who've been waiting for a very, very long time. After all, what's the truth behind it? And let's not forget the plight that the family members have had to endure over the last 3.5 years without knowing what's the reality.